Have you ever looked at a garden and wondered what makes it feel so perfect? Why does one feel grand and majestic while another just feels like a cozy, charming hug? Well, there's actually a secret language to landscape design, and in this explainer, we're going to crack the code.
So let's just start with a quick question. Picture your perfect yard for a second. Is it a place where everything is super polished? Perfectly clipped hedges, dead straight paths? Or is it more of a wonderfully wild escape? A lush, kind of untamed little slice of nature?
Whatever you just pictured, that's your starting point. Because every great outdoor space, whether it's big or small, it tells a story. It uses the language of plants and shapes and materials to express a certain personality. And over the next few minutes, we're going to give you a really simple but super powerful key to unlock that language. By the end, you'll be able to look at any yard, especially your own, and know exactly what story it's telling. Ready? Let's get into it. Okay, so at the very heart of all garden design, there's this really fascinating tug of war going on. It's a constant push and pull between two big ideas: human order and the wildness of nature. On one side, you've got formal design. This is all about symmetry, perfect geometry, straight lines. It really shouts human control. But on the complete opposite end, you have informal design. The style totally embraces asymmetry, flowing curves, and just letting plants grow in their beautiful, natural shapes. It's all about celebrating nature. And nothing shows this difference better than this. Just think of the gardens at Versailles in France. That is the absolute peak of formal design. It's a massive, breathtaking display of human power over nature. Now compare that to the classic English cottage garden. This one is all about designed disorder. It's charming, it's romantic, and it feels like nature just walked right up and made itself at home. So, you get it, right? We've got these two extremes, formal and informal. But how does that help us understand all the styles in between? Well, that's where our framework comes in. This is the simple tool that's going to change how you look at gardens forever. Because just knowing if a garden is orderly or wild, that really only tells you half the story. To really get the DNA of a design style, we need to add one more dimension to the puzzle. And here are the two building blocks. It's super simple. First, you look at the form. Think of this as the bones of the garden, the hard stuff like paths, patios, and walls. Are they straight and angular, or are they soft and curvy? Then, second, you look at the planting. This is the feel of all the green stuff. Is it planted in geometric shapes, all contained, or is it more natural and free-flowing? And boom, this is where it all comes together. Think of it like a map. Across the top, you have the form, from modern with its sharp angles to traditional with its soft curves. And running down the side, you have the planting, from formal and geometric down to informal and naturalistic. I promise you, every single garden style on the planet fits somewhere on this grid. Let's see how it works. All right, that theory is great and all, but let's make this real. It's time to put our new tool to work and see if we can analyze a few really popular garden styles. So first up, a true classic, the warm, totally inviting Mediterranean style. Just close your eyes and picture the sun-drenched coasts of Italy or Greece. That's the vibe. Now, this style was literally born from a hot, dry climate, so it makes sense that you see tons of drought-tolerant plants like lavender, rosemary, and olive trees. You'll see gravel gardens instead of thirsty lawns, gorgeous terracotta pots, and of course those crucial shaded spots like pergolas to escape the heat. It's all about a warm, earthy, and really functional beauty. So, where does it land on our grid? Let's check. The form, the bones of the garden, is pretty traditional, with things like rounded archways and natural stone. But the planting is definitely informal. The plants are arranged in these lovely, natural-looking clumps, not strict, rigid rows. So it lands right here, traditional form with informal planting. Okay, now let's jump to a completely different feel. We're leaving the dry Mediterranean coast and heading deep into the lush, dense world of the tropical style. I mean, the whole goal here is to create that resort-style, jungle-like atmosphere. That means you've got dense, layered plants everywhere, with huge, bold leaves from things like banana trees and bird of paradise. You get these vibrant pops of color from flowers like hibiscus. And oh yeah, the sound of a water feature is pretty much essential to complete that paradise vibe. So let's plot this one. Now this is really interesting. Tropical style lands in the exact same spot as Mediterranean. Traditional form, informal planting.
The structures might be traditional, but the real soul of this style is that wonderfully wild, untamed, naturalistic planting. It just goes to show you how two very different looking styles can actually share the same design DNA.
All right, for our last example, let's take a hard left turn into a style that's all about structure and restraint, modern minimalist. With this one, the philosophy is simple. Less is more. The design is totally led by the hardscape. Think the clean lines of a concrete patio or the sharp angles of a steel planter. The plants are actually used to reinforce that geometry. You'll often see huge uniform blocks of a single type of grass or shrub. It really feels like an extension of the house's architecture. And as you've probably already guessed, this style lands squarely in the top left corner of our grid, modern form and formal planting. The sharp, modern bones are just perfectly matched by the superstructured, controlled planting. See? The framework makes the identity of any style crystal clear. Okay, so now you have the building blocks. You get it. But here's where the real magic happens. You have to realize these aren't rigid boxes you have to stay in. They're actually tools for your own creativity. The design pros at Yardson put it perfectly. Innovation is welcome. You can totally mix and match these things. What about pairing a modern form with informal cottage-style planting, or using minimalist plants in a really traditional space? This framework isn't a set of rules, you guys. It's your playground.
And it's so important to remember that styles are always changing. Back in the 17th century, a garden was a symbol of power. Then in the 20th century, it became like an outdoor room, an extension of the home. But today, in looking into the future, the focus is really shifting. We're thinking more about gardens that support ecology, wellness, and biodiversity, with things like rewilding and creating habitats for pollinators.
So we started with that simple question, polished or wild? But now you have a much more powerful language to describe not just what you like, but why you like it. You can talk about the form, the planting, the level of formality. So go out there and look at the world a little differently. Now you have the language. What story are you going to make your yard tell?